In this video, we will learn how to create basic parts or basic objects in three-dimensional space. For that purpose, we will be using this shapes group in which there are various objects like extrude, revolve, sweep, swept blend, and there are some others like blend and rotational blend. So we will be learning these objects and how to make these objects one by one. So we will start with extrude. In order to use extrude, we have to define a sketch. So we will click on sketch first, and the status bar will ask us to select a plane or surface to define sketch plane. So we will define the plane on which we will be making our sketch, either top plane, front plane or right plane depending upon our requirement. I will be selecting right plane for this case and select sketch. Then in the graphics toolbar, I will be clicking on this sketch view. So this is my sketch plane on which I will be making different objects, like for example circle, and press scroll to dimension it. For example, it is 200 millimeters. I can also create a rectangle like this and press scroll in order to dimension it. For example, 200 millimeters and 400 millimeters, and press scroll, and using the scroll you can zoom in and zoom out, and if you press Ctrl D, it will take us to isometric view. And if we again want to see the sketch view, we can again click this button to see the sketch view. Once we have completed the sketch, as you can see, our sketch is complete because it is pink in color. I will select OK. So my sketch is now complete. Now if I press Ctrl D, I can view my sketches in isometric view in three-dimensional space. But this is only two-dimensional object right now. If I want to convert this two-dimensional sketch into a 3D object, I will first select this sketch and then press extrude. So the material has been added in a direction which is normal to the sketch, and we can only extrude it or project it perpendicular to the sketch in linear way. So whatever the thickness, we can give it in various ways. For example, we can manually give thickness by moving this circle like this, or we can double click this value and enter manually like 650 millimeters and press enter. Or you can see there is a dashboard in which we can add depth to it. Like if I want to change the depth, I will give it 500 millimeters, so it will again change it, and then press OK. So my extrude is made, 3D object is made depending upon the type of sketch. If I want to rotate this sketch, I will press scroll and move my mouse, move my cursor. So it will move the object depending upon the center, which is like this. And if I press Ctrl D, it will take me to its original orientation like this. And if I want to zoom in and zoom out, I can use scroll wheel, mouse wheel like this. And then in graphics toolbar, we can refit it to adjust it to the display. If I press it, it will become like this. And further zoom in, it can zoom in like this and zoom out with this button. And again, if I want to refit it on my screen, I will press it like this. Then there are different display styles. For example, shading with edges, it will look like this. Only shading, no hidden lines, hidden lines, and wireframe type structure, but I'm going to select it to shading with edges. Then you can turn off your planes. If I uncheck this, you can turn off your coordinate system, and you can turn off points and axis. And if I select all will be displayed like this. So this is how you make the extrusion. Now if I want to edit this uh, part, I can anytime click on this icon in the model tree and then edit my sketch. For example, if I press this button, I will be able to edit my sketch. For example, if I want to delete this rectangle, I will select it and then press delete. So I am now left with my circle only. I can change the diameter 300, and if I press OK and press Ctrl D, so I have a cylinder which is in the direction of x-axis. Similarly, I can change the depth by pressing extrude and then clicking this edit definition. I can change its depth like this or like this and press OK and Ctrl D. In a similar fashion, I can make objects using top plane. For example, if I draw a sketch on my top plane and press sketch window, I can sketch in top plane and press OK and press Ctrl D. So this sketch 2 can also be extruded, and if I select this sketch 2 and press extrude, it will be extruded in a direction perpendicular to the surface and press OK. Likewise, if I want to create a sketch or if I want to create an object which is in Z direction, I will draw a sketch on front plane by selecting the plane and then sketching any object, for example circle, and if I draw a center rectangle in this circle and press scroll button, I can see I have a nested sketch. Nested sketch means sketch within a sketch. At the outside I have a circle, at the inside I have a rectangle. So this is called nested sketch and press OK. So sketch 3 is my nested sketch. So I will select sketch 3 and extrude it. So you can see my sketch 3 is now converted into a 3D model and Control D. And if I revolve it, you can see from the inside my object number 3 is hollow, as I have made it a nested sketch. Now if I want to erase anything or remove any object, I will simply select the object, for example extrude 3, and then press delete and OK, and extrude 2, delete, OK, and sketch 3 can also be deleted and sketch 2 can also be deleted like this. So I will make a new sketch on a different plane. For example, I will select front plane and sketch using sketch view. If I draw a line, so this is my new sketch, and as you can see, it is not closed. There are two red marks or red dots here which are showing us that this is not a closed sketch, so it will not convert this sketch into a 3D object. So this is a very common mistake that most of the students do it. So we have to close it using a line or anything else and press scroll. And if I press scroll, now it is shaded in pink color. That means it is now a closed sketch. So now it is complete. Then I press OK and Control D. So this sketch 2 can now be converted into a 3D object by selecting it, then pressing extrude, and it can be changed. And if I want to give it depth from the middle section, I will use this depth menu and select this. So now from the sketch, material can be added on both sides. Press OK, Control D, and if I want to clear my space, I will click my object and press delete, click my first object and press delete, and I have to delete the sketches as well if I want, and Control D to be where I started.